Yeah, it's great. Like you say, it's lots of travel. I think this is about the third and a half week on the road, just in this small one-day series against South Africa. So it's forever living out of a suitcase that gets harder and harder to pack each time. Things seem to swell in size when you're on the road. But it's great. There's a lot of hype around the game at the minute. We're on a roll as well, which is brilliant. Big Fred is back and everything, so it's a great time to be involved. Yeah, I tend to live by the seat of my pants a bit more. I don't think there's any point planning for the next 2 months. I go on the next week or so. It gets me into trouble sometimes at home with the missus. She never knows where I am, and I never know where I am. So, but it's great. There's always new tours coming up. There's always new opposition to play, and that's the way it is in one-day cricket, in international cricket these days. So it's great to be a part of, and it's certainly not a bad thing when you've got to go to India for a couple of months and then have Christmas at home and then go to the West Indies, stuff like that. So it's all to look forward to. Like any kid, I was almost expected when I was a 12-year-old that I'd be playing for England within the next 3 or 4 years. The Roy of the Rovers dream sort of thing. But no, I always wanted to play cricket for England, or rugby for England, or football for England. The only thing was I was rubbish at football, and I was about 3 stone 2 light to play rugby. Otherwise, I'm sure I'd have been Martin Johnson's greatest ally. But always wanted to play for England, and it's a great feeling to actually put on the shirt and do that. There's no better feeling when you take a wicket, you walk back down to the crowd, and everyone stood on their feet cheering. Gets the old hairs on the back of your neck stand on end, and it's a really nice touch. It's pretty difficult. I think getting Sangakkara out of my first wicket in Sri Lanka nearly a year ago now, that'll always stay with me because he's one of the best players to spin in the world, and I managed to dupe him down the wicket and beat him on the outside edge with a bit of turn. So that was, at the time I couldn't actually believe it had happened. I kept thinking he's done that on purpose. But then I watch it back and it's still a great feeling. Almost unplayable it was a bit like the Gatting ball that Shane Warne bowled at Old Trafford those years back. But no, I think that's my favourite moment so far, just that feeling of elation. I'd have loved to have got that in a home international, just because there's more English supporters there. It was almost a quiet ground when I did it in Dambulla, because the Sri Lankans couldn't believe that their hero was out. But yeah, that was a special moment. Missing the run out at the Oval off the last ball wasn't a great moment. I had a shot this time to miss from 20 yards and no one backed it up. My mate Broady was supposed to be backing up and he was too busy doing his hair or something. So that wasn't great. I've been lucky so far not to drop too many howlers. I've dropped a couple of tricky catches, but touch wood, I'll never actually drop a stinker. Because in any cricket, if you drop an easy catch, you feel like burying your head in the sand for a good couple of hours. But no, it's been pretty positive so far. I think anyone will say it's the enjoyment is the main thing. I enjoyed it so much. My brother played cricket, my dad played cricket. A very supportive family. And I grew up in Northampton where there was a great structure as well, which I was lucky with. I had played in a great club side at Horton House Juniors, and it was just fun. And if it's fun, you want to keep going back time after time. And the other sports I played as a kid, I played a lot of rugby. I just didn't find them as much fun. They were still physically good and kept you fit, but cricket's got something special about it. It's something I can't quite put my finger on it, but just feeling you wake up in the morning when there is a cricket match and you've got this buzz in your stomach that just doesn't leave you all day. And if you do well, there's no better feeling. It's better than scoring a hat-trick or 3 tries or whatever. Cricket's just the best game in the world. The one thing I was, like I say, lucky that I had an older brother and a dad who played the game, and especially my dad. He was a big one for having a bat that's not too heavy. And my first bat, I remember it now. It was called a Dyna Drive that Grey Nichols don't make anymore, but at the time it was the bat of the time, and it was £1.13, which is it's like a toothpick now. But I was only this big, size 5, blue handle. It was brilliant. And I remember at the times where they had 2-tone grips, so the top half was one colour, the bottom half another. I had a blue and red because it was England, and my brother had a yellow and green. I thought it was a traitor for having Australian colours. But yeah, it was always about having a light bat, and luckily my dad instilled that into me. It's got to be light enough to wield around, and so you never beat it for pace with the ball. And there are bats out there. Grey Nichols have got a great range of light bats out there that will be perfect for kids growing up. If you get the bat that's the right weight and the right height for you, you're already on the way there.
And what bat are you using at the moment? What sort of weight is that?
It's a power bow, and it's I believe it's £2.10 or £2.11. I'm a big one for not the actual weight of the bat, but how it feels in my hand. So if it's got a light pickup, which power bows have very light pickup, which is great for me. Then obviously you try and get as much wood in it as possible to help you out when you're trying to go for those sixes and the one-day stuff. But yeah, it's about £2.10, £2.11, a couple of grips on it, and I'm lucky because Granicle's given me some unbelievable bats at the moment. I'm actually terrible at Nottingham or at England. When I'm next into bat, I hide my bats behind my clothes. They're hanging on pegs. I hide 3 bats and I hide them, and I've no idea why I do this, but I hate anyone touching my bat before I bat. I think it jinxes the bat or whatever. It's stupid. And the Notts lads have a hoot with it because they always pretend to touch it. But yeah, I hide my bats, and I don't like anyone touching them. The left sock goes on first, the left pad goes on first, the left glove goes on first. I've no idea why these are, but sportsmen are superstitious idiots, and I'm no different. It's as far as I can remember, I don't like people touching my bats. I think it goes back to under-19 cricket. A guy called Zach Morris, who used to play in Yorkshire, he told me one day that it actually jinxes your bat if anyone touches it, and I said that's nonsense. And so he was playing with my bat, and I went out and got out first ball. And obviously it wasn't my fault for hitting the ball straight to mid-off. It was the bat's fault for being jinxed. So it's one of those things. It obviously stuck, and there's no rationality to it whatsoever. It doesn't make any sense, but I'm willing to believe that if it helps me, I'll do it. Yeah, I'm in a band. We just do covers mainly, but yeah, anything with decent guitars in it. Bit of Stone Roses and Oasis, Charlatans, things like that from the early 90s. It's just the best music going. The stuff that on the way to the ground I can put on, and it really makes the hair on the back of your neck stand on end and really gets you pumping. That's the stuff I like. Heroes and Idols wouldn't even get a look in. I think it'd be sort of Cameron Diaz, Carmen Electra, and Holly Valance. I think she'd probably get the casting vote, because I hear she's good at making pudding. Well, I hope to play for the next 10 years, and I'm not ruling out captaincy and World 11 domination and stuff like that. I'd love to play for as long as I can and keep performing as well as I can. If I keep taking wickets and being happy with the way I'm bowling and chipping in with the runs as well, then I should have a few years of really enjoying myself on the international stage. And then afterwards, obviously, I'm not ruling out Prime Minister.
Top quality. A word on the socks, Swanny? A word on the socks?
Granicle socks, unbelievable. This is the future. Stripy socks.